You have to be pretty driven to make it happen. Otherwise, you will just make yourself miserable. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things. I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. Don't confuse education with schooling. I didn't go to Harvard, but people who work for me did. I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. If something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. Life is too short for long-term grudges. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. It's important to create a great product, but it's equally important to have a deep understanding of your customer and to have a long-term vision for how you want to evolve as a company. I think the best way to attract venture capital is to try and come up with a demonstration of whatever product or service it is, and ideally take that as far as you can. Just see if you can sell that to real customers and start generating some momentum. The further you can get with that, the more likely you are to get funding. It's not that I think I'm going to die, but I think there's a pretty good chance of not landing successfully. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. I always have optimism, but I'm realistic. It was not with the expectation of great success that I started Tesla or SpaceX. It's just that I thought they were important enough to do anyway. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. It's very important to like the people you work with. Otherwise, your job is going to be quite miserable. I think the value of beauty and inspiration is very much underrated, no question. When somebody has a breakthrough innovation, it is rarely one little thing. Very rarely is it one little thing. It's usually a whole bunch of things that collectively amount to a huge innovation. I don't believe in process. In fact, when I interview a potential employee and he or she says that it's all about the process, I see that as a bad sign. The problem is that at a lot of big companies, the process becomes a substitute for thinking. You're encouraged to behave like a little gear in a complex machine. Frankly, it allows you to keep people who aren't that smart, who aren't that creative. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. Don't confuse education with schooling. I didn't go to Harvard, but people who work for me did. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. I would like to be remembered as someone who did the right thing.